Hello everybody and welcome to week 2. This is the instructions for the 5.3 project. I only have 15 minutes on this recording, so I'm going to see how far I can get, and I may have to pause it to try and save time. Alright, so the first step is to open and save, same as previous projects. Alright, for step 3 it wants you to convert the worksheet into a table. So the way you're going to do this is you just highlight all of it. You go to the Insert menu and then click on Table. It's going to ask if what you've highlighted is what you want for your table. Click OK. Alright, so now you'll notice that it puts these little drop-down boxes under our column headings. Alright, and this note says that if you don't complete steps 3 through 6 correctly, it's going to throw everything off for the project. So make sure that you check your work correctly. It wants you to change the table style. I'm not going to go over that. Let's see, add a total row. Okay, so I'm not going to go over that one either. I kind of want to just hit some of the things that you may have trouble with in this little tutorial. So some of these you should know how to do. All right, next it wants us to filter to just show the sales for the California region. So what you can do is these little boxes right here is you can filter by each of these different categories. So we're going to take off Oregon and Washington. So now you'll notice that we're just looking at the California region. And then it wants us to also sort it by order date with the newest orders first. So we can go back to that. And, oh, sorry, we already did region. Now we want to go by order date. I think it said newest to oldest. Double check. Yep, newest orders first. Okay. Next, we're going to insert a line chart to show the total sales amount for each order by order date. All right, this one was a little tricky. So let me go back again. It wants sale amount and order date. Okay, so what I did, sale amount, I highlighted this. So I'm just going to highlight this column here, sale date. I'm going to hold down my control key. My short-term memory is the worst. Let's see. Sale amount and order date. Okay, so we got the sales and we got the, I'm going to hold down the control key. Okay, so with those two selected, we're going to go into the Insert menu, and we're going to do a line graph or line chart. So you click on it, there's several different options. I'm just going to choose the first one. And it says to move it out of the way. Okay, so it is taking our total sales, showing sales amount by date. Okay, and then it also says to go back in and apply a filter to the chart to hide the orders from April 26th. So let me see if I remember how to do this really quick here. Oh, no, duh, under filter. Okay, so we want to take out April 26th. If we apply that, now you'll show that the sales don't show that spike on the 26th. Okay, so those are the changes so far. I'm going over this really quickly. I don't want to do the assignments for you, but I also want you to understand how to do it. So you're going to have to go and do it on your own. But I think it's important to understand these concepts so that you can get the project completed and not lose points. All right, step 7, we're going to add a slicer to the table so you can filter by shoe name. Okay. Now gonna have to pause it because I can never remember which menu things are under. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the slicer is under the insert menu, and you go all the way over to slicer. Okay, let's see. Look at the instructions again. Add a slicer to the table so you can filter by shoe name. Okay. I'm gonna go back here to shoe. I'll try it this way here. Okay. So what I did was I highlighted the shoe column, went up to slicer, and now it's gonna say insert a slicer. I want it by shoe, and then click OK. So let me show you what this does. I'm going to move it off of our chart a little bit. So what we can do by adding the slicers, we can look by shoe and see what the sales are by shoe. These are the different shoe names. Okay, or you can click on the X up here and it takes off that slicer. It's kind of a fun way to be able to see, yes, we've got our total sales by date, but then we can break it down even more by shoe. Okay. All right, the next part is a pivot table. And I'm not going to lie, this can get a little tricky. So just one thing, if you are having trouble understanding pivot tables, I like to use Google as a help menu. I think it's even faster and sometimes more effective than using the help menu in Excel itself. So if you need to know where things are or what they are, just do a quick Google search. All right, so let's go back here. Now we're going to create a data table or a pivot table from the data in the sales worksheet. Okay. Okay, so to create a pivot table or pivot chart, you just click anywhere in the table that you want to use. You're going to go to the Insert menu, Pivot Chart, and then down to Pivot Table. So you'll see that it selected our whole table just by having selected a cell within that table. And click OK. And now we get to build our pivot table. All right, so it says use the sum of price per pair and region. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do price per pair and region. Okay. Okay, we want to average the price per pair, not total. Okay. I don't remember which menu it's in again. All right. Okay, so when we're in the pivot table itself, there's some different menus that come up. So we want to be under Analyze, and then if we go over here under, so it's in the Active Field section, and then click on Field Settings. Right now it's calculating the sum of price per pair just based on sum. But we want to, I want to click that on, or change that to average, and you'll see that it's going to change it to the average of the price per pair. Okay, so that's step A. Then we want to add the shoe field to the pivot table. So if we go over here and click on shoe, that adds another variable into our pivot table. And then it says to format all of the values in the pivot table to accounting number format. Oh, that was not quite it. Okay, sorry, I clicked on the wrong tab and it took me completely out. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to just make this accounting format. So if you go to the Home tab, I just click on that button there. Okay. Okay, now step 9, we've pretty much already created the chart right here. There may be a few additional changes. Yeah, there is on the chart. So make sure you read over 9 and make those changes. And then the last couple of steps for this project, I'm going to let you guys try them on your own. If you have questions, like I said, Google is a good resource. Make sure you've gone over the learning assignment, the lecture, the pre-test, post-test, so that you learn all of the concepts. But for this one, you're going to be using sparklines, and those are just in with the charts and what am I trying to say? In this menu here, the charts and graphs, sorry. So you're going to be working with sparklines. And then it's going to have you flip over to the second tab and kind of play around with if you make a commission, how much would it be? And then if you owed student loans and based on what you're getting for your commission, you're going to use GoalSeek to see how much in commission you have to make to pay off your student loans. So kind of a couple of fun things at the end there to do. But I think this will probably help you with most of the basics for getting started. So lots of different concepts. Like I said, make sure you're going over the learning assignment and really learning the material because that will help you for the projects. And there are several steps that I skipped over. Please make sure that you read it very carefully, but I wanted you to kind of have the basics of what to do for this. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.